We are all finished with our battery monitor install, and now I want to see what we can actually do with 100 amp hours worth of power. So we're going to take this thing for a test run and see what it's got. So we've got a 100 amp hour battery installed. I'm going to be completely unplugged. The engine's not going to be running, and there'll be no shore power. I want to see how long we can last, what we can run, and what kind of situational awareness the new Renogy battery monitor gives us. So in just a minute here, we're going to park this thing and we're going to mark the time. Then we're going to do 24 hours of straight boondocking and see where that puts us on charge. All right, we just parked and we're marking the time. That's 6:37 in the morning. Engine off. So to start with, we're pulling a clean 1.27 amps. So we'll see where that gets us. Before we start, we're going to take guesses as to how long this battery is actually going to last. So we have 100 amps of charge available. Really, to keep the battery healthy, we only want to use 50% of that, but that doesn't really matter. Right now, we're talking about how low do we think the battery is going to get. So we have 100 to start. We're at 100%, and we're going to go 24 full hours with running the fridge, 12-volt fridge, some lights, and maybe a little fan, and then I'll be doing some editing, so we'll run a laptop as well. I think we're gonna be right around like 50% when we're done, but I think we might be above. So I'm gonna say my guess is like 52%.
Well, I'm thinking back to the last time where we were camping in the truck and we had the fridge running the whole time, and I think we used a lot of lights. We did use the water pump because we had Gracie and her dirty paws. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like we used that much last time, so I think this time with this test, I would say probably like 40, 45.
All right, so we'll check in every couple hours, but the whole purpose of this test is to get a baseline for like where we're at, what we can do, and if we need to add another battery, then we'll add another battery, but that's what we're trying to figure out. Now, just like any real camping situation, I'm going to at least attempt to do a catch and cook. So we're heading down to the water right now, got our fishing pole, we're gonna cast it in, see if we can't catch some lunch. All right, we're doubled up. That one's definitely a keeper. All right, first keeper in the bag. Now we did catch some fish for lunch down at the water, but out of an abundance of caution, we also have a precautionary pork butt being smoked. So we are right at about 2 hours into our boondocking test. It is hard to believe, but 2 hours into the test, we are showing a draw of 1.4 amps, and we're at 100% charge still, according to this, and 99 amp hours. So that's the most charge we could have. It looks good. That's not a very high draw, but give it a couple more hours and we'll see where we sit. It's 9:47 right now, and we are a full 3 hours into this power test. I need to get some editing work done, so I'm going to plug my laptop into the wall. I'm going to turn the inverter on, and then we'll see what that does with our charge. New update. It's been 4 hours total that we've been running this test. For the last hour, we've had the computer plugged into the outlet. We had the inverter turned on. We've had the fridge running away, probably starting to get towards the hottest part of the day. And we had this small fan running to keep us cool because it's starting to get warm in here. Currently, we're sitting at 93% of the battery remaining and 92 amp hours. I took a look at the display on this fridge and it was showing me an error. I was looking into this error code that I've been getting a little bit more. This was a power error code. So after a lot more investigation and digging into this problem, I have realized that the issue is the actual fixture, the socket, the cigarette lighter outlet. The contact points in it are so fine that when this fridge really kicks on and pulls some amps, the contact points are not enough. They're not providing enough current. This is what I had it plugged into, and this wire is good. That's plenty big enough. Now this is our issue. You can kind of see in there the contact points. They just kind of suck. So that was barely enough for my other fridge, I guess, but it was working fine. Now I've got a power converter plugged in, and pretty much this is just taking AC from the inverter and turning it into DC. Now this is lossy. So what I mean by that is it's not the most pure way to power a 12-volt fridge, but it's working, and we are sitting about 8.5 amps. So I don't know. I mean, we're gonna see. This is really gonna hurt our test, but it's real life, and so we're at 90%, 90 amp hours. Let's give it another couple hours and we'll check back in. All right, we're making blackened fish tacos with the perch that we caught out in the creek. That's gonna be lunch. For dinner, we are cheating a little bit, and we're having that brisket that I've got on the smoker. We're not really using a lot of power when we cook food in this rig. So we've got the stove, which is propane, and pretty much that's it. Other than the lights, which it's daytime, maybe at dinner time we'd use 1 or 2 lights, so I'll flip them on. But we're not really pulling power when we cook food. You just can't beat that flaky white meat for tacos. I think that's gonna be great. All right, fresh caught blackened perch, peppers, avocado, and Mexican cheese. All finished with lunch. Those fish tacos were killer. And now we're 7 hours in. We've got a draw of 4.5 amps. We're at 81 amp hours and 82%. I think we've really saved a lot of power from unplugging the laptop, and that's a good thing, but I'm not really sure if my estimate's gonna be true. Like, I think we're gonna pass 50%. I think we're going low. All right, we are now 9.5 hours into our 24-hour boondocking test. So let's check the power system and see where we sit after 9.5 hours. 75%, 74 amp hours, with a draw of just less than 2 amps. If we continue exactly on the trend that we're on right now, we're going to end up with 33-ish% of battery remaining at the 24-hour mark. Got our pork butt pulled off. Now we're gonna rest it. That was a total smoke time of just over 12 hours. We are 11 hours in and officially down to 72% battery, 71 amp hours. We are back in the camper 16 whole hours into the test. So we've been running lights and the fridge is still on. Right now, 16 hours into the test, we are at 61% charge and 60 amp hours on the battery. So we're getting down to the wire. We're gonna leave some lights on. We're pulling 4.6 amps roughly. There's not much really more to cover here tonight, so we're gonna keep these lights on maybe another hour or so, roughly the amount of time that we would run them after cleaning up from dinner and while getting ready for bed, and we'll be checking back in first thing in the morning. Well, good morning, and thanks for sticking with us. 24 hours later, and we are back. It's 44%, 44 amp hours, and we're currently pulling 1 amp. So Caitlin was pretty much spot on. All right, so now is the moment of truth. I already know the answer because I checked the battery monitor first thing this morning, but after 24 hours of the camper being unplugged, just running off battery power, we have a final verdict for what percentage we got down to. So what do you think it was? You originally guessed 45. I said 52.
I still think my original guess like 45%.
After exactly 24 hours, we were down to 44%.
Are you
Yeah. So I lost.
Wow, okay.
So it's pretty spot on. So I think that tells us that this setup that we have right now is perfect for 24 hours unplugged. 24 hours is more than we'd ever be unplugged. The way we travel is usually drive out somewhere, camp, drive somewhere, do something, drive back, camp. Every time we drive, even for 10 minutes, it'll charge the battery a lot. So I mean, I've been charging this one for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. It was at 43% or 44%, and now it's at 62%. And it's climbing. Since we got in here just a minute ago, I've watched it count up a few percent. This is good for like summer camping. The propane heater we didn't test because it's hot out, so we didn't want to run the heater and like hotbox this thing. For the winter, we might want to add another 100 amp hour battery just to cover our bases in here. We've got more that we want to do, and so I think another battery is in our future.
Okay.
That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and next time we'll take you on a more scenic adventure.